Hello, good evening, Twin Minds here, as I throw my face over to the other side of the screen right this moment. We are doing more Space Engineers tonight. I have plans to continue on the massive ship build that we were working on previously. Also, I need to turn down game music now that Pretzel's working again, so let's do that quick. There we go. Hello, Jonathan. How are you doing tonight? There I am. Okay. Alright, so this was the ship build that we were working on previously. I'm still not entirely sold on the entrance, but I'm still digging it. So, it's got a little bit of a blue Cylon thing going on there, so maybe it's not too bad. You did fast cards. Amazing. Alright, but before I go too deep into that new ship build, I want to check out all the various spawns that we got around me so I can clean up some entities. That one is unspectacular. Let's go with that word. Proteus I've already got. Light cargo. I don't think you're remarkable, but you're still kind of nifty. Do I have any mods? My mod list is almost or over 200. I don't remember which. But it is in the very large category. So let me get that out there for you. Assuming that Scotty's going to work tonight. Hey, Scotty worked tonight. There we go. Just a couple is what I'm really getting at. Just a couple mods. I think I've already gotten this Crow class. But let's grab it again anyway. No harm in having a duplicate blueprint that I can delete later. You are a spherical outpost. That's kind of nifty. But I've already got you. I already have shields, and I have at least 2 or 3 different airlocks. Which are you referring to, and for what purpose? I like this little build. It's neat looking. Those can all go away. This Naga can go away. This trading post we've seen many times over. Worker we have seen many times. Okay, I think we've seen everything there is to see. Yes, I've got 2 different ones that work really well. Possibly 3. Let me take a look at my list here. Let's see. For airlocks, I've got the maintenance hangar, or the maintenance cubes. Let's actually get a few of these out there. Hold up, I need a new toolbar. And so we've got maintenance, we got maintenance, we've also got terrible performance. We have that. This one's not quite so great. Alright. So yeah, we got plenty to work with. I might have to delete some of my big ships because they're starting to kill my performance here. This one's not really a good airlock door because it is really just a single panel, so not quite what you're talking about. But we've got this, which is actually we'll do this one too. These are square and round versions of the maintenance passageways mod. And they close that way and open up that way. So they're very nifty. And we've got this one, which is currently upside down, which works really well. And then we've got this one. This one's a little bit more nifty. It's actually upside down, but that's fine. It's see-through, first off, and it rotates like this when you open it. And there is an option for an angled one, where you go in this direction and you come out sideways. So it gives you another option for an entrance into your ship. So yeah, I've got a few options for airlocks for sure, and I've used all three of them actually now that I think about it. Alright, so let's get rid of something, because I got too much crud and it's taking up space. This one, I have not fiddled with it since my last edit, so it can go away. And that can come out again if someone needs to see it. And then these two are taking up a lot of space as well. But I do like having this. I don't know which Big Bertha you're talking about. I don't think I have anything called Big Bertha, if that's the question. No, I do not. Oh, usually at least 10 to 20 hours per ship. This isn't even the right direction. This is facing the other way. This one is still in progress because I'm attempting to take one ship build that is a vertical ship build that is meant to look like this, and I'm attempting to paste 3 of them together and turn them into a horizontal ship build. And that's turning out to be an interesting challenge. So, yeah. I'm kind of having to rethink the entire design of everything. But yeah, this one over here is the singular ship in all of its glory. It's about 80-ish blocks tall, roughly, and it is a vertical face. It's a light mod that adds additional lighting, but it doesn't do well with redrawing, and I think that's more of the game's fault in how it redraws lighting. I think the game uses a similar to Minecraft's chunk mechanic, and it redraws light based on how far away you are, which angle you're facing it at, and it's just really weird. But yeah, this is the Spire, and I think it's a hell of a ship, and I really loved building it. I loved the final outcome, but I built this all in creative, and then I went into single player and started messing around, and then I realized that this ship and what I equipped this ship with was not good enough for my needs and or wants in single player. So I'm in the process of attempting to retrofit this ship to see if I can make it better, but in the meantime, why not triple it, and then I'll have 3 times what I needed in single player. So yeah, that's that. And then this one here is a horizontal ship, and it is based on the Planet Killer from Star Trek, and it is basically it is a gullet from stem to stern with grinders, and you fly a ship inside, and it just grinds it and tapers it down until it is nothing. So I'm working on attempting to make this ship fully functional and pretty. I'm not quite sure where the pretty is going to come in yet. But I've got most of the functional in place. The only things that I'm missing are additional shield generators and proper placement of thrusters. That is essentially what I am doing, Jonathan. This over here, let me get rid of these, because these are in my way. And they're taking up processing power that the game is having a hissy fit about. Rainbow swirls. Yes, that is the answer, obviously. Haha, solar power, no. Not with the gigawatt requirement of some of these vessels. Solar power is not gonna happen. All right, so this is going to be my next big base ship, but I don't know exactly where to go next. But ultimately, what we've got is a front-facing hangar for mining drones and potentially a fleet. In here is going to be like the drone control bay or whatever. Howdy, Mackenzie. Welcome. In here is the refinery, which will eventually take up quite a bit of space. And remember, these ships were built vertically, and I'm attempting to convert them all horizontal. So that's turning into a challenge. In fact, this spine right here is an elevator that goes from top to bottom, now goes left to right. I'm not sure if the Wonkavator prospect will actually work in this build, but we'll see. It might work just fine. And having a Wonkavator might actually be a good thing in this build. Yeah, batteries I've not really been focusing on. I probably should. Let's see. No is the answer to the Wonkavator. It kicked me out. God damn it. Hold up. I need to cheat my way out of this so I don't break anything. Let's go over to here. Alright, advanced guard pirates, you guys can all go away. These guys are kind of neat. Someone built mechanized bot suit things. I don't know how well they work, but they made them. Uh-oh. I don't know what they're doing. Oh. Uh-oh. Those are bombs. Those are mines. Good thing I'm visiting this in ghost form, basically, because that would have exploded. Just trying to clean up my entity list so my game can run a little bit better. Alright, I think we're good. I think we're good. I already got it. I already got the gravity cannon. The bottom of the spire has a gravity cannon. This way. Star Driver, yes, I will test out a different speed car. But what actually happened here is that this ship was designed vertically, and the elevator is currently running vertically. But I am now attempting to run it horizontally. And the elevator didn't seem to want to transport me horizontally. It kicked me out almost instantly. So I think it might be something with the orientation of the cars. I know the car does attempt to move you central within the car, and it might be that attempt to move me that caused that problem. It shouldn't? Okay, then I can definitely test out the speed. The problem is that I had this working perfectly fine when it was horizontal with the 9 meter per second elevator. So if it doesn't work horizontally with that speed, then I would be suspect if it worked at any other speed. But I can definitely try it out. But yes, Jonathan, this is my gravity cannon. Right here. Takes a warhead with a mass block and shoots it this direction full speed. Already got it. Yeah, I'm mostly using it static anyway. It's not actually static, but the grids are floating but not moving, and so far I've had no problems. So I'll definitely test it out in horizontal to see how well I can get it to work, if it works at all. I can always rely on teleporters if I need to, because I got teleporters in here too. Alright. So this is technically also gravity cannon, but I'm thinking of converting that into something else. Okay, so what's next? Yeah, but I don't need to fire huge stone when I've got explosive warheads. I think next off is just capping off some of these areas. Like this area here, I was kind of planning on potentially doing something with it. So I kind of want to cap that off, but I think I need to cap off some of these areas here. When you're dealing in the capital scale, warheads are also cheap. Plus, I am auto-processing all of my stone into real materials. I have mods in here that grind down stone and process it into ore, or into ingots. So I won't have much stone to fling at people. Okay, so let's take this. Meh? Meh. Alright, so let's take this and go whoop this way. I think about that far, roughly. Yeah, close enough. There we go. I would be concerned about the warheads, or the stone setting off the warheads, because they do ignite on contact. But I could definitely look into that. But it's not something on my tap right now. Okay, so I think I need to get rid of this engine for right now, because it's in the way. Alright, so let's see. So I was planning on coming all the way back here, which means I need to kill some of these engines. That sounds plausible, but also difficult. Okay, I might need to kill these as well. Ow, bonk. You know, that flashing really is obnoxious. I really wish it wouldn't flash like that, but it's kind of being a turd like that. Is that the only one I had? I thought I had another one making light, and they might be conflicting. Ah well, let's kill that one and see if that's enough to fix the problem. No, there is another one causing light. Where are you, light? Maybe not. Maybe I'm going crazy. That's entirely possible. Okay. So, this is the hangar bay that is growing. I think I'll leave that as is. And I think I might do this. Yeah, lost control. Okay, that'll do for now. Don't like that gap. That's not a cool gap. I don't like that at all. Yeah, I don't like the gap. Is that gap present on all these? It is. Well, blast it. Alright. Is this listed as a airtight all faces? Yeah, so there's just a visual gap. It's not an actual gap, air-wise. But, alright, we'll deal with that later. Okay, so let's get this wall in place. still not entirely sure those thrusters need to be there, but let's put them back anyway. Yeah. Close enough. Close enough. Alright, so we have the back wall of the hangar now. See, we really need that light, even though it's flashy. Because otherwise, it's just not very well lit. That ain't even working. What's up with this? And now it's working. You know, light. For you to be an effective light, you have to actually stay on. Just putting it out there. Okay. Not very effective if the only way I'm going to see light is if I'm looking down at it this close. Alright, whatever. Okay. Fine, you're just going to be a nuisance. Do I have gamma? Don't have gamma. Amazing. Howdy, Mr. Chop. How you doing? Mr. Chop and or Mr. Choop. I haven't decided yet. I mean, you could decide that one for me, but I haven't decided yet. Okay. I'm doing pretty good, except for the part where my lights don't work. Like, it's really hard to get a grasp of how big this thing is if I can't get the darn thing to work. I mean, I guess I could face the sun, but the sun doesn't like to stay facing the same direction. It is looking pretty awesome, isn't it? Alright, let's see about facing the sun at least a little bit. Alright, get out of everyone's way. And then we attempt to turn. Hopefully. Not hitting the ships over there. There we go. How's that? There we go. That's a little bit better. I will hate to have to move this thing every time the sun changes even slightly. I did, Jonathan, but as I said, I'm not interested in doing that at all right now. I am working on this ship. Alright, so now we have light that stays in one place. So, what the hell is next? I'm still not entirely sold on this entryway. And I don't quite know how to fix it. Like, first off, we got a little bit of blue Cylon thing going here with the entryway. Looking like a blue eye visor kind of thing. But second, this part here doesn't really seem to work too well. And I think what I might need to do is cut it off. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, and then we cut off here. Yes, here. Jonathan, you are really addicted to that idea to the point where you're not even listening to me saying I don't want to do that right now. Just pointing that out here. How about this? Oops. Blocks. Rounded? Shorter runway, I guess it would be. Close? Dude, what you're talking about is a 4-stage gravity gun and making sure that everything in the gravity gun is not in the way of everything else. With essentially minimal effectiveness, like minimal extra effectiveness. I have been able to peg ships at 10 kilometers away with this thing. Like I don't need to go to a 4-step launch process to be able to get that going. Like it's just not an effective process for me. This guy's pretty cool. I like it. And that 4 or 5 step firing process is a manual process. There's no easy way to automate that. So I'd be stuck on my own, pushing all those buttons in sequence to make sure it works right. Okay, so now we're back to there. Okay. Alright, so I'm liking that a little bit better. Maybe not rounded though, because the rest of the thing is in angles. So maybe I don't round it. Sure, that'll do for now. Alright, so I think now I need to gut these and open up the inside of the bay a little bit. I mean, I still could use them to print more drones, but I think I need to gut this part. careful not to delete parts of my ship that I like. Are those deleting over here? No, they're not, because they're no longer attached, technically. Alright, I think I need to go in and delete those first. Some of these lights, they may or may not be causing some of my problems. Yeah, let's get rid of that. Get rid of that. And these did not delete. Okay. I think it's relatively safe to bulk delete the rest. Okay. Everything effectively deleted over here as well. Alright, so I'm going to get rid of this little lip, I think. Okay. I wonder if I could set it to rotate ever so slightly on free rotate to follow the sun. Like, could I get that going? Nah, I don't think I'd be able to set that right. Alright, let's see. Making sure all my streams are functional. Okay, we're good. Hey, FoxM Gamer, how you doing? Okay, so actually, while I'm here, let's get rid of these. Oops, picked the right angle one. Didn't mean to do that. There we go. Now this is right setup. However, that is not the right place for entrance, but that's fine. And I want to rotate this cockpit so it's facing the other direction. I think. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Now I can go this way facing the sun again. There we go. Yeah, switching this whole ship to be oriented the other direction is going to be a challenge. Okay. I think what I need to do probably is find a way to tack this inward a little bit. So if I... Do I have that engine again? So if I get rid of these, and then the little flares that were added on, okay, so now we have a little flat surface for this. I'm not entirely sure that works. Maybe they'd be better suited for the inside track. Whoops. I deleted the wrong block. Hold up. I gotta delete this. I gotta fix this. Don't you love it when you delete the wrong block? Okay. Let me delete that. Inside track is alright? I mean, I could do both technically, but I'm just trying to figure out where these engines could fit. So that we can have forward go power. I mean, I could use other engines. I could use other things. Words. I could use regular old engines and just add a ton of them or whatever, but I really want to use these somewhere. I might have to get more creative with these things. I mean, they go. They absolutely 100% go. Zero to 100 in like 10 seconds, roughly. Not too terrible. Not the greatest, but not too terrible. Okay. Okay, so now what? So we've got roughly flattened surface in the drone hangar. However, I have not really accounted for where the drones are actually going to park. I've just been kind of coring out the center of this thing. So that could be a challenge. you know, before I decide to tackle that challenge too much, I think I want to get rid of all these. There we go. They are all gone. Less distracting now. Okay. I mean, these would be great places to build drones, if I need to. I could lower down the welders a hair, and that would be fine. So maybe that will happen. Maybe that will happen. Alright. So the other question in here was going to be storage. Because in here is the refinery. So then the question was, do I make the drone bay observatory, which is going to look similar to these window segments, do I make that directly coming off of the storage bay, or does it be its own like segment? Because if it's its own segment, then I would do that like right here, roughly. And then the observatory would be here, cutting off the back of the hangar bay just a hair. And that could be that didn't detach how I wanted it to. Let's put that back. Put that back where you found it. No, I can't put it where I am currently because it doesn't count me as a viable space. Okay, fine. Alright, fine. I'll put you right here. There we go. Okay, let's try that again. Less stupid this time. I know exactly what happened. I turned off the mirror effect. And then I forgot I turned off the mirror effect. There we go. So now, mirror effect on. And we take number 9. Let's do that here. Like so. I want to make sure those mirrored properly. They did. Good. Actually, no. Let's do the reverse of that. Let's do that. And that, I think. Ah, gravity. Hate you, gravity. Alright, so this would be the drone observatory. I don't like that those windows are so messy. But the inside is the darken method. Ah, it'll be fine. So that's then the drone observatory. Now I will definitely pretty it up a little bit, I think. Maybe have an extendo bit right there or whatever, but this is kind of the concept of it. Whee! Okay. Alright, back to what the hell am I doing with myself? Let me go grab one of the drones. As soon as I can find it. There it is. Okay, so the hangar is definitely big enough, first off. I mean, we kind of knew that, but still. So now we rotate this bugger around. And now where do we put them? Like, do I redesign a drone so that they can dock on the floor and maybe the ceiling? Because then I could do, you know, drone dock, like right here. And then I might be able to fit 2 of them? No, can't really fit 2 of them. If I didn't have that drone observatory in the back here, I might be able to fit 2 of them, but just barely. And that kind of lends me back to the idea of mass amounts of them rather than a handful of big drones. Because mass amounts of them would be also cooler to look at, I think. So if we rotate and not run into the ship, please, thanks. Could I fit 2 of them back to back? The answer is no. I would not be able to fit 2 of them facing each other interior like this. So then the question is, what do I do? Do I have 2 big ones and then a herd of small ones? That's probably doable. I would have to design much bigger if I were to have a herd of these guys. So if I did back more and then down, depending on how the hangar ends up, I may be able to fit them too tall. And I could potentially weasel this back and have them stacked too wide as well, or too deep as well. You know, instead of questioning this, this is Little John. Let's make another Little John. Okay, so as far as actually fitting too high, I can do that. It's a little bit of a squeeze, but I could easily redesign the ship to squeeze a little better, I think. I think I could do that. Okay. Should we take a brief break and try to design a better drone? Because this was a design that I made just for parts that I could easily afford, but I'm no longer at that concern anymore. So let's design a better Little John. So first things first, I want to get rid of all of the engines and maybe swap out with angels. Okay. I don't know about that yet. Oops, bunch of uranium all over the place. Okay, so I think I kind of still want to stick with this as the base. I could shrink it down to 1 cargo hold, but that would be inefficient, and that's terrible. So I think I'll stick with the 2. I think it could potentially be a little bit wider due to the space that we've got, but I kind of want to keep it as short as possible. Okay, so we need connector. We need angels. We need reactors. And we need gyros. We need ore detector. And we need the extreme spotlight. There you are. Okay. So previously this thing only had 3 gyros, and I think 4 would do just fine. Okay. It is difficult to get the right angles on everything. Especially the left and right angles. Those are really tricky to do in a small form. Easy enough to do in big form, but not quite so easy to do in trying to keep like a narrow profile. Because if I did something like this, it works, but it sure as hell looks goofy. And then I could do like this and that. Not horrible. I would probably do that in the pure square option instead. No, I don't really like the square option either. Let's try this option. Let's see what it looks like. I don't think I'm going to find one that looks great if I'm sticking with this method. Stupid eye. Why do I stub my eye? And that just looks more inappropriate. Ever so slightly less than... No, that's just not great. There isn't an easy way to do this, honestly. Because the other method is something like this, which just doesn't look right at all. If I were to be doing a bigger overall profile, I could do it no problem. But I think I might need to stick with this. Probably the square will be fine. It's the least offensive outcome. Okay. And then for the forward and back thrust, we can just do them up here. Yeah, I have never been accused of making pretty ships. Not in the least. Alright. I just wish there was an easier way to get all 6 direction thrust without doing something wonky like this. There just doesn't appear to be a way. Unless... I mean, I could go back to using these. These work pretty well. Because then these would end up being in here, but these are also too wide. So I'd have to do them like up here or something. Which works. It certainly works, but it, I don't know. The other option are small box ones like these, but they don't put out nearly as much thrust. And you need a whole hell of a lot more of them to work, which then defeats the purpose of a smaller box. We'll leave it for now, I think. It's not pretty or remarkable, but it'll do. I think I need an antenna. Sure, without having to think too much about that. Alright, now he should be a little bit more agile. And a little bit faster on the outset. That he is. So now he's a hair shorter profile-wise. And I could potentially fit 2 of them lengthwise. There isn't an easy way to do that, though, as far as location of the connectors. And that's where I think I might need to put connectors top and bottom to make it work a little bit better. There isn't an easy way to put a connector on the bottom, though, without extending its depth. Yeah, we'll think on that. Because the other option is just a boatload of drones. Of either this one or the dwarf. The dwarf has practically no cargo capacity. I think this one is triple that because it's got one big cargo here and then two big cargos here. So it's got a little bit more capacity. So let's move this guy. These guys can easily fit multiple in here. So I'm kind of leaning that direction. Just the multiple drones concept. But I might still try to figure out how to swing 2 to 4 of these things. At least some sort of big drone concept in the middle. Because we got a big hangar here. I mean, it's going to be pretty difficult to fit enough of these little guys without causing additional problems. Certainly a try, but it'd be difficult. I need to rebuild this ever so slightly anyway, because I removed the mod that I was using for the remote and programming block. So I'm going to have to switch those back to default. Okay. So let me get this guy out. Kill that. Fairly well. That didn't work. There we go. Alright, and then let me just get rid of some of these. I just deleted something. I don't know what I just deleted. I hate when that happens. The hell did I just delete? What the hell did I just delete? I was pointing this way, and it deleted something up here. I have no idea what I just deleted. I think it might have been a gyro. No, because all the gyros are there. Well, frack, I have no idea. Alright, well, I'll count it as good. This guy needs to go here. Okay. So remote block needs to be here, facing a forward direction. And programmer block needs to be here. Doesn't matter what direction it's facing. Okay, I think that's a little bit better. I do need to recolor it. What do you think is this color? Yeah, that'll do. Okay. So now we are one step up from this thing than it was before. So now it's got top, bottom, and back capabilities for the docking port. So now this thing is a little bit more versatile wherever I end up putting docking ports in this drone bay. So I'm going to blueprint that. Check, make sure everything's working. Everything is indeed working. Alright, so now where the hell to put all of my drones? Let me move these down. So these are, which ones? These are the twin welders, okay. So the twin welders can go. Did I not mirror? No, I did not mirror. Now we're mirroring. Okay, so that needs to go. That will need to go. Hey, thanks, Ebron. How you doing? Also, I need to get off my color thing. I'll recolor everything later. Alright, so I need elbow. No. Elbow. And then I need a three-way T here. I need to make sure that worked over here because I don't like to work on mirrors. Good, good. Alright, so how big are these things? I think I made them like 2 1/4 blocks wide, roughly. But let me park it up against something to have a better look on things. So which way am I facing? Yeah, just about 2 1/4 blocks wide. So that just gives me, basically that means that all of my my containers, or my connectors need to be at least that far apart. So spaced 2 blocks apart from each other, because that will allow me to dock these side by side if I need to. I need connectors. Already got conveyors on my list. Okay. And these things are, let's go with the word ovular, because they are definitely an oval in shape. They are 2¼ blocks wide, and I think they're roughly 2 blocks tall. So I will still need to have their parking spaces be a 3x3. That's to be expected. Not the end of the world. But that means the parking spaces will have to be like so. That will need to go. Actually, those can go up a hair. And then down here. So that would be 6 of them parked right there. Except for I forgot to do this one for some reason. And then that would be 6 of them parked over here as well. Now, I don't particularly like them sticking out that far into the bay, but I don't think I have too much of a choice. I just deleted something. Oh, it was an engine. Okay, that's fine. I can redo engines later. But I don't have much of a choice because this is the wall. I mean, there's not much out that I could do unless I wanted to widen the hangar. So I'm gonna have to basically just make sure that I'm aware that I'm filling inward, which means that this, if this is going to continue being some sort of viewing hatch, might need to scoot in a block or so, and these might need to scoot in a block. Well, I've got med bays on this ship for sure. Because each... the original ship that this is based on had these little first aid boxes which act as med bays on just about every floor out of 9 floors. So I've got them all over the ship. So there's like 18 of them now, technically. 18 med bays on this ship. Navalus, Large, and then Blood Wraith. Let's go take a look at those. Those have nifty names. Blood Wraith. Oh, you already looked at before. And then we've got the Pigeon Merc. So let's stop you and take a look at you. You're kind of neat. But you said a small emergency ship with a med bay on it. What would be the purpose for that? What's your thought behind that one? This one, yes, I've already gotten this one. Oh, like an actual escape, emergency escape situation. Got it. That I could certainly do. Little Bird Courier I've already gotten. The rest of these are all me. Yeah, and in fact, actually that brings up a possible good use for some space I've got out here. Down here, I have this little nook and cranny that I didn't quite know what to do with. So I think that would be a perfect spot for a little escape ship or something like that. Because I was gonna just plaster it over with these things or whatever, and just make it smooth. But yeah, this would be a perfect spot for that. What's on the other side here? Okay. Now this, however, is something that I don't think I can get rid of, because it's part of the angles here. So as long as I've got these little angles for just the front entrance design, I'm gonna have that little block in there. I don't think I can get rid of that, but that's fine. So this goes here, and then we can just put a connector here. It doesn't need to have anything connected to it, I don't think. The challenge will be getting to it. Like, I don't know how I could easily build something that would allow you access to this. But what I could do is I could have a teleporter on the small ship, so you can teleport to the escape and then bolt. So that might be a thing. Hey, Darkseeker, welcome. Coming along nicely with the big ship. The big ship lollipop, as we were going to call it. Or not. Drake Interplanetary Hauler. Let's take a look at that guy. See, I think people are just better at designing ships than me, honestly. Aside from my inferiority complex, I'm doing pretty good. You like that? That was almost pure suggestion by viewers the other night. It's got a blue Cylon thing going on. And I can fill it. Because I haven't filled it yet. There we go. There's the fill. So that's like the final open face of this thing. There we go. Switch those signals off. They're getting in my way. Get in. Get in. There we go. There we go. And then we park it, turn off the juice so it doesn't impart any force on the ship that's holding it. And there we go. Now we have a drone. And that is drastically smaller than I thought it would be. So I'm going to need to figure out how I'm going to store a whole bunch more drones in here and connect them all up. Also, I attempted to design another larger drone, but I'm sucking horribly at it, so I mean, it does things, but it is definitely not good looking. So, let's get 5 more of these things in here just to fill out that side and see what it looks like. And that is going to be this one. Now to park them all. Just to see what it looks like to have them all parked. So this is this one. Oh, it didn't. Oh, balls. Alright, that's gonna be a problem. Because I didn't set the remote control with the new controls. So let me get out of this, and I'll park them all manually for now. Now, why are these red? Like, are they turned off, or what's the dealio? They are turned off. So they must have started turned off somehow? I don't know what the dealio is with that, but I'm fine with it for now. So that is now 6 of those drones tucked away nicely in there. And I've got performance issues. What a shock. Too many blocks, you say. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have nearly enough blocks. It's a shame that these are essentially hard-coded. Like, when it senses that there's performance issues, it slows down the physics rendering of the game, rather than cause FPS issues, but my computer can handle that. It just self-throttles itself no matter what, and I don't have a say in the matter, which is unfortunate. Okay. So that right there tells me that I have a lot of space in this thing. Like, a whole ton of space. Trying to think how I could do this. Okay. I don't know how to do this yet. I'll have to think a little bit on the drone hangar, because A, it needs to be fully encased, and I don't quite know how I want to tackle that yet. And B, I don't know how I'm going to fit all of the darn drones in here. Like, do I want to try to fit a couple of the large ones, or do I want to just skip that and go all small drones and have a whole massive fleet? I don't think the game would like it if I did the whole massive fleet, but, you know, the game can go screw itself. But I do need to figure out something. I could attempt to encase this now. See how it turns out. No, see, I'm not really seeing an easy way to fully encase this without cutting off these things. But these things probably need to be cut off anyway. Because these are what's left of the vertical spacing of the reactor room. So I think these need to be cut off. Probably should do that, shouldn't I? And these windows here probably need to be cut off as well. This can be flattened, I think. Try to find a way to keep these, like the visual look of them sticking up like that, but not the direction that the windows are facing. Like maybe I can make the windows more horizontal and then make this some sort of upper observatory type situation. That might be doable, but for now I'll attempt to use this to encase the drone bay a little bit more. And if anyone has thoughts while I'm thinking out loud to myself, by all means, step in. Okay, so that's roughly encasing the drone bay without fully compensating for these things sticking out. But in the meantime, I could attempt to tackle my refineries and storage bays. This is most likely going to be a long maintenance tunnel. In fact, let's carve that part out now. Oh, hey, I found the previous bridge. That bridge is going to be a pain to redo, by the by. Just putting that out there. That is going to be a pain. Okay, we'll get rid of that. We'll flatten this off here. Okay. And at any time, if you think we should stop and take a break and try something else, different build or something like that, I can certainly do that. And I'm going to just keep fiddling around with this until I'm happy with it, which may take forever. Okay, so this is the connection previously for the bridge, and this is how I merge them. So this can all just go away. It's not necessary to keep it. And that does disconnect, right? Yeah. Now this was me attempting to connect the two refinery rooms while they were still vertical without having the idea yet of switching to a horizontal ship. So now that we're a horizontal ship, I could lower this drastically. I could lower it down all the way to here if I wanted to. Or I could keep this a relatively flat plane and have this as just kind of like a separate piece jutting down. Which might be an idea. I mean, ultimately, we'll end up with something like this. Fairly sizable chunk in the middle here, connecting everything. A little piece jutting out in the front, and potentially a little piece jutting out in the back as well. I could also cut off this piece jutting off in the back. It may not be necessary. Damn you, Darkseeker! I'm gonna go with no. I'm gonna veto that idea. Because, I mean, it's already pretty damn sizable. Although, I don't think it's, like, massive. Like, overall, it is now probably about 100 blocks long. And maybe in the neighborhood of 50 wide, roughly. Maybe a little bit less. So, I think in that regard, it's not big. Not as big as you probably want it to be. But yeah, I'm not tripling this thing. Just putting that out there. Not happening. Yet. Okay, so I think... yeah, I think if I drop this down 2 steps, it would be fine. Yeah, that'll do. Oops. Wrong button. Okay, so this. And then I make the game have a panic attack while it tries to do a 1,000 block thingy. I mean, I get where you're going with that, but no. Okay, did that end up freeing that thing? I think it freed it. I have a hard time justifying that. Yeah, it freed it. Okay, get rid of it. Alright, so now this is the flat plane for the entire refinery. Which I might leave with that little indent there, just for the hell of it. Because then it's going to look like that. Which, by the way, this is very frustrating not having a good light source. Because it does that nonsense. It does the flashy blinky thing based on how close I am and which direction I'm looking at it. Alright, so that's that. Yeah, that'll be fine for now. I don't have enough intrigue on this big flat plane here, which is now the drone bay. So I might do ridges or something like that. I could also raise it up a hair in the center, but I'm not sure yet on that. Like, I could take it so that this segment here, this narrower segment, is replicated at the top, so you've kind of got like a cross almost look to it, maybe. I'm not sure on that yet. It's one of many thoughts. Let me check all of my streams to make sure we're good. Everything is good. Everything is awesome. Okay. So, what next? I could continue working on the storage bay or the refinery. Or I could attempt to finish working on the drone bay. Let me crack open the storage here first and see what we're dealing with. Those are all still connected. Okay. Okay, fine. I think I'm causing problems. Or I'm not causing enough problems. No, I'm just forgetting to mirror. That's fine. That's fine. Screw you, mirror. So this is the mess I'm looking at with storage right now. A little bit of existing verticality to it. Although they're square boxes, so it's not going to matter all that much. I'm going to have to get rid of the catwalks. Yeah, let's do this one a little bit smarter because I failed miserably on the last one. That's the opposite of smart. That's dumb. That is the exact opposite of what I wanted to have happen. I built instead of destroyed. Okay. Alright, so now the question here is, do I flatten this plane off straight across, or do I bring the storage down onto here, which essentially will give even more space to work with? Don't have an answer to that at the moment. Anyone with any thoughts? Because I am running out of thoughts. This. And just give it a little bit of a ridge on the top. And potentially that could increase the interior space by just a hair. Give it a little bit more of an oomph to it. back here. Yeah, that'll be fine. Oops. Messed it up. Come out to here. And I think we have a thing to fill this. Close, not quite. There we go. That's the one we have to fill that. Okay, so I need to get rid of all of these. Ooh. Neat. Okay, so I have too many antennas going right now. I think I need to kill some of the antennas because I've got 2 Doomlance antennas and 3 Esper antennas, so I need to kill a little bit of that. This is probably my closest access. So that's a little bit cleaner, but not by much. Currently running too many mining drones with antennas, but that's okay. Let's see. Still haven't touched the bottom ship. Like, that one's essentially as is. The top 2 have been probably about a 1/3 gutted, I think. Because they no longer have reactor room. They no longer have the gunnery room. Well, actually they still have the gunnery room. They don't have the printing, and they don't have the gun at the bottom. They still have the storage, but they don't have the refineries yet. storage is still there, needs more. The refineries have been gutted, but those are going to get redone. The bridges still exist in completion, which is kind of weird to see sideways. And the crew quarters still exist sideways. And these I'm probably going to leave as is. So these will be coming out of the top, and they'll probably be fighters. And this one still exists at the bottom, which may or may not still exist. I might cut that piece off at the back. Depends. I don't know what it depends on, but it depends. What should I work on next? Did I cut that hole intentionally? I'm pretty sure I did. I don't remember. Alright, let's see. So if I do storage, like if I start the storage like right here, I don't know if I'm going to continue this line of thrusters or not, but for right now we can just do flat plane. That's not how that goes. There we go. So if we did flat plane and had more storage down, then I could ramp that up into here. But that ramping would essentially consist of dead space. Thoughts and ponders. Oh, dare I ask what I have in here? Nothing. I have nothing in here. I just have a whole bunch of reactors. So I can delete all of these and redo the storage. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea. Probably wouldn't be a great idea either. Now that I think about it. Could leave it as is. It's not hurting anything. Why do I have shit in my eyes? Damn it. Checking on stuff here. Looks like the elevator just arrived. Alright, now the question is, can we ride the elevator vertically? Whee! No. Essentially kicked out. And stuck-ish. So I might have to abandon the elevator idea. I can catch up with the elevator. bonk. Bonk indeed. Alright, so we are now at the top floor, so I can get out. Top slash back floor. Alright, what was this floor? This is the bridge. Yes, this is bridge. So this essentially is going to be walled off right about here. Although it doesn't need to. Like, I don't think I need an extensive bridge up here. So this essentially would end up being dead space. Well, let's see. What can we fit in here for refineries? Okay, so assuming upgrades in the middle, I could do just solid all the way. And I think the answer would be, how many can I fit? A lot. Because I think these can stack too high. Yep. So these can stack too high all the way across. And lots of them. Which leaves it open for me to be able to space them out a little bit for design purposes, rather than having it completely and totally cramped, which is good. I like having room for design. These pipes and whatnot are decoration only, and they can stay right where they are. The lights probably need to change a little bit, but the pipes can stay. Okay. I also need to rethink the entirety of pipe transport in this, because, yeah, these were designed with central pipe going all the way from here to here, the entire length of the ship, which is now horizontal. And if I'm breaking those up based on visibility, then that's going to be a problem. You know, I need to get rid of those gravity gens. I need to figure out where they are. We're on floor 2. So they would be, this is 3-ish. They would be right here, I think. Oh, there's multiple gravity gens. Shit. I forgot. Put multiple gravity gens. Okay. Let me kill the elevator. I think I need to kill the elevator. I think that's one of my final holdouts of, like, the entirety of the ship design. And that will also let me transport a little bit. Ow, bonk. Alright, I need to go all the way back down and finish getting rid of the elevator. There we go. Elevator go. So, back up to gravity gen. There's gravity gen. Thought there was one in here. But I might be mistaken. There's one in here. You need to go. And then there's one right here. And then there's one right here. And we go to the other side of the ship and do the same thing. Because I don't have mirror on right now because I don't trust the mirror to do that properly with the orientation that I've got everything. Oops, broke a thing. Didn't mean to break a thing. I don't know what I broke. I think it's just a plate. I'm getting all crookedy on myself. There we go. And the final grav gen was up here. Yeah. Okay, so that's those two ships. I don't remember there being a hole here. I may or may not have caused that problem accidentally, but that's okay. Now, also, I need to do the middle ship on the bottom. That one I'll leave the elevator in place. I'll test the slower elevator and see if that helps at all. I don't think it will. Now, do I have any of my up engines still in place? I think the answer might be no, actually. Like, if this thing were to start flying upward, I don't think I have anything pointed down to stop it again. That could be a problem. Let me put some ups anyway. Not much, but it'll do for right now. Just to make sure that direction is covered. Because I've got forward, and I've got back, and I've got down in form of that right there, and that right there, but I don't have any up. Well, I'm glad that wasn't a problem up until now. Alright, so let's get rid of these. Okay, so that gives me roughly the area I need. Okay. Get rid of these, because these are no longer relevant. I don't think the door will be relevant either. The windows may stay, but we'll see. These are technically no longer relevant either. Let's get rid of those. Okay, so how do I do the storage? I'm thinking I do want to go down to that lower level. So should I gut and redo the storage, or should I leave it as is and just build in the middle? Get this guy out of here. Just cut. You're fine. These guys I'm also going to get out of here because I think they're really just slowing down the processing, and it'd be nice to not have to deal with that right now. There we go. Processing speed is a little bit better now, which is really telling me that having a large amounts of drones is probably not going to happen for the game. But I can dream, damn it. Alright, so anyone with any thoughts on what I should do next? Like, what I should focus on? Should I attempt to rebuild the bridge? Should I attempt to finish gutting the top 2 ships? Should I attempt to reorient everything in the bottom ship? Bottom segment, I guess? What do? Meanwhile, I gotta get rid of some of these ships that are wandering around. You guys are kinda neat. I don't think I've even seen you before. Nice, I like the little metal plates over the holes. People can't try to access them. That's cute. Neat. That's nice transport. I like it. And Navtech Sage, I think I've seen before. Pretty sure. Alright, well, I have no thoughts from the peanut gallery, so I'm gonna keep on trying to figure out what to do. Because this is turning into a very challenging build. Whoops. That was not intentional. But damn it, I keep accidentally deleting my windows. I didn't mean to do that. Oh well. I need the 1x2 flat inverse, I believe. That's really difficult to hit. There we go. pretty much guts that half here. Probably should go ahead and get rid of these. At some point I probably should reconnect all those so that they're, you know, able to convey things. What is that? What happened here? Is that just shadow? Yeah, I think that's just shadow, okay. It's just doing weird things, okay. Okay. Thinking, pondering, thinking some more. So these can essentially stay as is. There's nothing needing to keep them upright or anything like that. So these drone bays are done. There's this, however, is not done because it's still vertical face. I don't know if there's anything I can do though to make that better. So maybe it's worth just extending the drone bay up to the tip here, or at least up as much as I can. Because this is essentially worthless. You pray to whatever gods you believe in? Because currently I don't believe it's out for Xbox One. Okay, yeah, I think that would be worth extending out the drone bay. Let's do that for just a little bit. Shouldn't take too terribly long. Let's get rid of these. Okay, so conveyors, and these are just every 2. I think I could spare. Oh shit. Looks like I'm redesigning that part. Looks like I'm redesigning that part completely. That's fine. It needed to have a different look to it anyway. Oh, silly me. Ah well. Okay, so I need connections. Okay, then I need to kill these so I can extend them up. Alright, now how high are we extending? To there-ish, I think? Although at this point, since I accidentally cut off the thingy, maybe I don't want to extend them out that far? Because this is essentially the back of the ship. I mean, I can extend them as far as I want, but maybe I don't? Maybe that's a good accidental time to cut off where it is? I don't know. Maybe I'll leave it chopped off for now, and I'll come back to that concept later. Because I think I only extended it by 2 spots. Maybe 3. Let's see, how many we got? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we've got 11. Not exactly a miraculous number. So I could, you know, cut it off at 10, for example, and just have 10 on either side, and that's the end of the drone bay. Or I could just cut it off at its original 8, just right here. Because if I cut it off at its original 8, then these engines could be on either side. Like so, I think. Nope, it's going back another block. We could have a little bit more forward thrust. And those could cut off like right at this edge. Or they could stick out a little ways. I don't think it matters either way. Let's cut it off at 10, I think. So then we really only need need this to extend out to here, I think. Okay. Come on. Come on. There we go. Ah, damn it. There we go. Now I just have to do a little bit more work to decorate that and slim it back. That gives me kind of a backstop to work with. And I can really do whatever the hell I want with that as far as ending decorations are concerned. So I can revisit that, I think. So let's get rid of some of this extra crud. Okay. So the back end accidentally got drastically changed. Oops. Oh well. Sometimes we have happy little accidents, as the great Bob Ross would say. This is what it looked like originally. And now it's got a little bit stumpy on the back. So who knows? Maybe I can do... Not Kratos, not Anubis, hell is the other one? It's Anubis, Kratos, Imhotep. That's the one. So maybe I could do Imhotep's on the back, just for that additional forward thrust. That's kind of a nice way to cap it off, I think. And that means I might not need all of these Anubises here if they don't look right. I think they look okay, but they stand out a little bit. We'll see. What's flashy in over here? What's flashy in so much over here? Weird. All right. We can redecorate with these later. I'm still kind of at a loss as far as how I want to do the refinery room or the storage room. So I might have to take a look at those at a later time. I know roughly where I want them to be. I know that they need to be bigger than they were, but I don't know exactly what the final outcome is going to be on those. Alright, that needs to go. I think if anything there's going to be one like right here, but that's hydrogen currently. Where's that green one? Did I not cut one out on the outside? I think that might have been where the light was. Gone now. Alright, so if anything, we're going to have a walkway like right here. I haven't killed all the gravity. Damn it. Forgot I didn't go to the bottom ship and kill the gravity there. The bottom ship still has all of the elevator. Arg. Let's see if I can use the elevator the right side up though. So 3, 2, I think. Yeah, so 2's got a gravity. And then 5 has a gravity. Okay, 5 gravity gone. And then 9 had gravity. All the gravities are gone. So now if I need to, I can at least point upright and not be thrown sideways. That needs to be killed. Kill those for now. Kill that. Kill that. That should go. What I probably should do is I probably should install some temporary gravity gens so I can kind of get a upright feel for the way this ship is going to go. So I think I shall. And what's the radius on these things? 150 by 150. Okay, so I could potentially install this just dead center somewhere. No, not that button. Where's dead center? Dead center is essentially going to be right here. Really? Okay. So if we show on HUD and info, show gravity range. Well, that's not nearly big enough. That's 150 diameter, I think, so that's only 75 range. So is this ship longer than I thought it was? Oh well. Yeah, we'll install some more temporary gravity gens. You don't have a good spot for you at the moment, so you can go right there. Okay, so now we have direct gravity control on the ship so that now I can get a better feel for what's up and down. Hey Ruckus, welcome. You have caught me attempting to figure out how the hell to make this ship. Let's get rid of some more crud that doesn't need to be here. Actually, let's go with more Imhoteps. Howdy, Everan. It's going about as well as it was before. That is to say, not too terrible. Okay. Trying to get a feel for the amount of thrust that I need to get this thing moving. I mean, ultimately we have these that are still left over from the previous ship to be left and rights. But we also have these that I added for lots of left and rights. We've got 3 upward facing and 4 downward facing. I'm wondering if I need to increase that upward face a little bit without, like, making it look too silly on the ship. I'm not even sure I like where those are currently. I could potentially put more, like, right here. That is bigger than I thought it was. Ow, bonk. Ow, bonk. Stuck on something. I mean, it's not terrible to have that there. It just kind of stands out a little bit. But ultimately, this is going to be closed. And these I can clear off a little bit with some rampage. So if I did this on each. Something like that, just to tone it down a little bit, and then I could do this, I think. Hello, cat. I think that helps give them a little bit more purposeful look to the ship, rather than being just pasted on there. Hello, cat. cat who needs attention badly. Alright, let's reorient so so that cat can have lap. There we are. There you are, cat lap. Okay, then we got a little bit more interior lighting going on here. Not that that light is doing anything. It is certainly not lighting up this far down. But I could extend those out a little bit. Let's get rid of that. Biggest challenge here is going to be converting it into a horizontal area. It's like this here would be the drone printing spot. And this would be roughly the door. All of this doesn't need to be down here. I think, though, if I disconnect this piece, this whole chunk is going to go. Which is fine. I can redo it. Yes, that whole piece went. So yes. I come over here and get rid of the other part that went flying. So this is now a hole, which doesn't need to be a hole. Let's see. Okay, so this can open up. Out of curiosity, if I put this like so, can we actually climb it? Technically, yes. Interesting. That was more of a curiosity bit than anything. I don't think I would actually want to do that. But it's good to know that I can do that if necessary. Okay. Those don't even need to be there. The whole thing doesn't need to be there, honestly. So I don't need to do any sort of platform, but I probably would. So let's turn this on quick. so the safety spot is right behind this wall. So as long as this wall is cut off, then I can't get accidentally hurt, which is good to know. Okay, so these are windows. And I need the flat, I believe. Yeah, okay. So that can go up there. And then what I can do is I can make this like a platform to stand on. That can be raised up with this. Then you have a viewing platform for the printing. This can actually open up a bit. I don't know how much I want it opened up, but I can open up a bit. Those are flat, okay. Thinking. Okay. I think that looks alright. That can go away. That can go away. That can go away. I like the idea of that being an entryway to get in. Hello, cat. That means that these need to taper, I think. Cat, if you want attention, come here. Whiny little dork. Okay. I think that kind of cuts it for this. That killed the light that was on the other side. Speaking of lights, these need to go because they are no longer facing the right direction. And I can worry about light decoration later. There we go. I think these need to be angled in, I think. No, those need to be something else. Those need to be these. There we go. It's looking pretty epic from the inside. Now I just need to figure out how to cap this off. Like if I want to keep this overall lump of a look, I could just cap it. But does it serve any purpose? I think the shortest answer is no, but I don't know what else I could do with it. Because it's a very vertical space in this ship. So if this is going to be some sort of drone observatory that's you know, got command consoles or something like that in it, then what do I do with that space other than skylight it or something? Certainly could skylight it. Best answer to this might be something like this. Meh, there we go. I don't quite know what to do with this section. I mean, I could just cut it off and flatten it, but it feels like a waste of a good piece of decoration. Let's see. What about putting these windows on this side as well? And these would be something else. Those would be this option. Actually, no, I don't think I need to do that on here. Let's see. Something like this? Then we can take number 9 here and flatten it upward. Now this could still potentially be skylight. Let's go with the, I think I need to do the inverted slope. I don't remember. Let's see. If I do here, and then I do here, I could potentially round it off this way. Okay. I just need the 1 by 1. I need inverted for up here. And then the regular for down here. There we go. Now I can just extend this up a little bit. I think this can be flattened a hair. But otherwise can stay up. I don't even know what I just clicked. Where did I just put that? The hell did I just put that? Oh, I'll find it later. Be very confused about what I just did. Alright. Okay, so these need to come up. And a thing needs to happen over here. I'm not sure what thing yet, but a thing. I think what needs to happen here is that. Yeah, something like that. Alright, so these need to go. And those can be regular old blocks, I think. Hmm. Something like that. I don't know. It'll do. It'll do. For now. Till I get utterly sick of it. It'll do. Okay, this didn't happen properly over here. That needs to be regular block, I think. That's fine. There you go. That's an interesting transition. Yeah, so this is the drone observatory slash command room, I guess, which will end up containing a large amount of stuff, like Colt command consoles and whatnot. So let's do some of that. So like, for example, this needs to be upright. There we go. For example, we can do like over here. A little roundy standalone doohickey, just for just cause. Let's go with some ceiling monitors. Ceiling monitors actually don't work too terribly well in here because they're so high up. And because these things don't accept ceiling monitors on those windows. So let's see, what about this one? No, don't really have space for ceiling monitors in here. That's good to know. I could potentially hang some up here. So if we raise this up a block. Okay, so we've got that, and then we've got that. I don't think there's much difference between them, but there is a difference. There's one that has like a flying HUD versus an information panel. I think the flying HUD would make more sense. So let's do... three? What does that console match up with? That matches up with this one, I think. Due to the size and whatnot. Why can't I get my rotations right? There we go. That one matches up fairly well with that. And I think if we capped off the end here, that would be alright. Definitely needs some more decoration, but it's getting there. Actually, I'm curious. Lost my Z. There we go. Alright, I'm going to turn one of these on again. I know it affects us out to like here, I think. Okay, that's actually pretty good. So yeah, actually, because it goes all the way out to like here, it should be able to build the entirety of the drone. So all I need to do is set them up with merge blocks, so I can figure that out later. But otherwise, that's pretty good. And actually, that's alright. That's not too bad. That's alright. It'll do. It'll do. Okay, those are fairly tall. And those are fairly taller. So 8 would be alright to put in between a couple of them. Kind of removing some of the purpose of having the viewport, but I think it'll add a little bit to the variety of what's going on in here. And if we go down to the S Moon project, we have a whole different array of doohickeys to put down. That's that. think just a number 9 would be fine. And then maybe a number 8 in here for controlling the printing process. I don't know what the inverted stand is. Oh, okay, so button back versus button front. That'll be good. I think that works well. Could potentially wrap it around and do the same thing over here. Let's add a little bit more, just for funsies. So we need to get the curve, and we need that one. There. That's a little more fun. Just to pretty everything up a bit. Now I'm curious if the other side mirrored properly. No, indeed, it did not. Because I don't think I had the mirroring on. That's fine. It's fine. I'll tell myself that's fine right now. I'll have to go decorate the other side later then. Thought I had the mirroring on. Oh well. Oh well. Alright, so I definitely need to address a lot more in this ship. There's a lot more to do. So I will probably end up working on a lot of it in my off time, because there's a lot of like fine details and a lot of me sitting and staring at it blankly without knowing exactly what to do. So I will probably do more of that in my off time whenever I manage to get some off time. But for right now, I do gotta leave it here because, yeah, it's getting a little bit late. That's fine. That's fine. We had some fun. Mostly worked on this, mostly fleshed out where some of the thrusters are going to go, and finished off the drone bay, or rather finished off the encasing of the drone bay. I have not finished off where all of the drones are going to be parked. That's a whole different conversation, I think. Might need to have some parked, you know, hanging from the ceiling and the floor, and these flattened areas here. So yeah, there's still quite a bit of work to do to make that drone bay fully fun and functional. So yeah, I'm gonna leave that here. So thank you all for coming. Thank you for any subs and follows that I might have missed, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye.